The 2020 Formula One season will finally kick off on July 5th in Austria on the fast Spielberg circuit owned by Red Bull, a welcome relief from the months of delays because of the coronavirus pandemic. Welcome along everyone to another episode of Formula News, and first up on this episode, Ferrari to bring a B-Spec SF1000 to Austria. The last time we saw cars on track was during the last day of testing in Barcelona. Despite having been forced to stand still for 3 months, the teams have continued to work in their factories, albeit required to close for a long period, using the data collected during their 2 weeks of pre-season tests to identify areas of weakness. Ferrari arrived at the test with its SF1000 and was off the pace compared to Mercedes and Red Bull, something they admitted themselves. For the debut in Austria, it has been rumored that Ferrari could debut for the 2020 season a sort of B version of the SF1000 with many new technical innovations in the engine, gearbox and chassis. Most of the development focus during these months has focused on the chassis, since by regulation it will have to be homologated in Austria and then used for the rest of the season. At an aerodynamic level, it will be essential that the technical innovations introduced on the SF1000B bring the same results as the wind tunnel, given that on the Red Bull ring, there will be a double appointment after 7 days. The Austrian track requires a perfect aerodynamic compromise between efficiency on the tracks and grip in fast corners. Ferrari tested 2 rear wing configurations in Barcelona, one classic high load and one with medium to low load with a spoon main plane. The spoon-shaped wing has a more loaded central section of the main plane, with the profile becoming more neutral in the direction of the side bulkheads. This reduces the resistance without unduly affecting the vertical load. It is very probable that both solutions will be reproposed during Spielberg's free practice sessions to make comparisons between the two solutions. The contribution of the new specification power unit 0652 will be very important, not only for the addition of 20 horsepower, but also for reliability. In Austria, although there is a climate that is anything but torrid, the high altitude, which is the third highest of the year, makes cooling difficult due to the reduced air density. This is why the hood solution with wider outlets could be used on the SF1000 to improve the heat dissipation of the power unit. The new gearbox, on which Ferrari has encountered mechanical oscillation problems during the tests, should also debut in Austria. In fact, the data from the sensors collected at the factory showed that the gearbox was subject to twisting and bending movements, which, albeit slight, could affect long-term reliability. Ferrari will look to increase the rigidity of the gearbox by using a crossed carbon fiber skin to also prevent the gearbox oscillations from affecting the correct rear suspension structure at the camber angle or roll behavior level. Ferrari could also intervene technically on the rear suspension. These handful of changes are by no means minor and could be enough to bring the SF1000 back into play, which is hugely important given Ferrari will have to use this car in 2021 too, and will be keen not to write off 2 seasons before the 2020 rules reset. Next up, the architect that powered Mercedes to 12 F1 titles leaves. Andy Cowell has helped mastermind Mercedes' dominance of the V6 hybrid era, and his departure leaves a big hole to fill. Monday's announcement that Andy Cowell will step down from his role as managing director of Mercedes' Formula One engines marks the end of an era for the team. Cowell has been part of the Mercedes-AMG high-performance powertrain department for 16 years and has served as a German manufacturer's managing director since 2013. Having graduated from university with a degree in mechanical engineering, Cowell's first motorsport role saw him land a place on Cosworth's graduate scheme. His big breakthrough came in January 2013 with the opportunity to take over the managing director role and oversee the development of the P106A V6 hybrid power unit, which powered the all-conquering W05 machine that Lewis Hamilton steered to championship glory in 2014. His work set the gold standard for Mercedes' rivals to follow and has changed the face of engine development in F1 with the sport now boasting the most efficient racing engines ever made. Further success followed in 2015, 16, 17 and 18 as Mercedes dominated and cemented itself as an unstoppable force across the V6 hybrid era, winning both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships on each occasions. Under Cowell's leadership, Mercedes has claimed the remarkable achievement of taking all the 12 world titles on offer since the start of the 2014 season. There is no doubt that Cowell's impending departure will leave a vast hole to be filled at the reigning world champions. But the huge significance of the role Cowell played is emphasized by the fact his responsibilities will effectively be shared across 4 people, with Hywel Thomas tasked with direct responsibility on the F1 power unit from July 1st. While the exact nature of his next career move remains to be seen, Cowell's F1 legacy at Mercedes will ultimately conclude this season with the outcome of the 2020 World Championship, and it might well end in another piece of history, with Mercedes taking the unprecedented feat of 7 World Championship doubles on the bounce once the delayed campaign finally gets underway next month. And that's been today's video. If you don't want to miss out on any Formula 1 news, then please hit that like and subscribe button for more top-notch F1 reports and insights. Apart from that, I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you have an awesome day, until next time, goodbye.